Good yogas for Aries rising. When Jupiter is placed in the first house, Aries, and aspects the 5th, 7th, and 9th houses, it becomes a cornerstone for dharmic alignment. The 5th house represents intelligence and past life merit. The 7th governs relationships and partnerships, and the 9th is the house of fortune and higher wisdom. This triple aspect by Jupiter, a natural benefic and 9th lord, strengthens creativity, ethics in partnerships, and a deep philosophical approach to life. The conjunction of Moon or Venus with this Jupiter in the ascendant can further enhance charisma, fortune, and grace. Venus in the 11th house, Aquarius, forming a conjunction with Saturn, the natural lord of that sign, produces a powerful gain-oriented yoga. Saturn brings long-term structure, and Venus adds grace and financial benefits. This conjunction, with both aspecting the 5th house, Leo, supports gains through creative ventures, elder networks, and structured artistry. If Jupiter from the first house aspects this conjunction, it creates a triangle of wealth, values, and higher fulfillment, a Lakshmi Yoga variant beneficial for both fame and finances. Mercury in the 3rd house, Gemini, conjoined with Sun, 5th lord, creates a Buddha Aditya Yoga, which is particularly powerful for Aries rising. The 3rd house is ruled by Mercury and represents courage, speech, and enterprise. This conjunction boosts communication skills and authority in self-expression. When this combination aspects the 9th house, Libra, especially if Venus is placed there, it enhances fortune through writing, teaching, or digital commerce involving arts or finance. Moon in the 4th house, Cancer, forming a mutual aspect with Jupiter in the 10th house, Capricorn, creates a Gaja Kesari Yoga, although Jupiter is debilitated. Yet the mutual aspect between natural benefics across the Kendra axis strengthens emotional intelligence and ethical career foundations. If Saturn, 10th lord, also aspects the moon from the 11th house, it brings stability and a karmic drive for public service, administration, or structured care-based roles like healthcare or education. Venus in the 2nd house, Taurus, when aspected by Jupiter from the 10th house, Capricorn, forms a Dana Yoga through aspect alignment. Jupiter being 9th and 12th lord for Aries rising brings higher values into wealth, and Venus in its own house strengthens financial prosperity, family culture, and artistic speech. If Mercury also conjoins Venus, this creates a refined and articulate speech pattern that supports success in client-facing roles or media-related careers. Mercury in the 6th house, Virgo, conjoining Sun, 5th lord, creates a highly analytical intellect that excels in problem-solving and service roles. This conjunction, when aspected by Jupiter from the 12th house, Pisces, brings spiritual intelligence into conflict resolution, turning enemies into allies or debts into strategic leverage. Such combinations are ideal for roles in healing, analytics, law, or social reform, particularly when backed by a benefic moon in the 10th house. Jupiter in the 12th house, Pisces, aspecting the 4th, Cancer, 6th, Virgo, and 8th, Scorpio houses gives deep spiritual insight, emotional maturity, and a protective influence over hidden enemies or psychological depths. If Venus or Moon is placed in the 4th house, this aspect enhances internal peace and connection with mother or homeland, possibly leading to gain through foreign real estate or spiritual retreats. Sun and Venus conjoining in the 5th house, Leo, both receiving Jupiter's aspect from the 1st house, creates a yoga for leadership in creative, romantic, or educational domains. The Sun owns the 5th house, and Venus enhances pleasure and aesthetic sense. Jupiter's aspect here provides wisdom, protection, and a dharmic purpose to their actions. This is especially potent for those involved in teaching, performing arts, politics, or child-related ventures. Good yogas for Leo rising. Jupiter in the 5th house, Sagittarius, its own Mulatrikona sign, forms a powerful Dharma Yoga for Leo ascendant. It aspects the 9th house, Aries, 11th house, Gemini, and 1st house, Leo, completing a triangle of Dharma, fortune, and gains. This configuration makes the native highly principled, fortunate in education, children, and leadership roles. If the Sun, Lagna Lord, is also placed in the 1st or 9th and is aspected by Jupiter, the person becomes radiant with both personal charisma and spiritual maturity, often becoming a mentor or thought leader. Venus in the 10th house, Taurus, its own sign, forms a powerful karma yoga. It brings grace, beauty, and popularity in career. For Leo rising, Venus rules the 10th and 3rd houses, governing public work and initiative. If Mercury, 2nd and 11th Lord, conjoins Venus here or aspects from the 4th, it creates a strong Artha Yoga, enhancing fame through communication, branding, or visual artistry. Venus's benefic influence stabilizes profession, especially in aesthetics, diplomacy, or financial consulting. Mercury in the 2nd house, Virgo, exalted and in its own sign, conjoined with the Sun, Lagna Lord, forms Buddha Aditya Yoga in the house of speech, family, and wealth. This is highly auspicious for Leo ascendants, making the native articulate, intelligent, and strategic with resources. If this conjunction is aspected by Jupiter from the 6th house, Capricorn, even though Jupiter is debilitated, it still adds philosophical depth and analytical skill to the speech, helping in leadership, negotiation, or education roles. Moon in the 4th house, Scorpio, although debilitated, becomes powerful if it receives aspect from Jupiter in the 8th, Pisces, or 12th house, Cancer. This combination balances emotional intensity with spiritual depth and gives strength in matters of home, inner peace, and mother. If Venus is also well placed in the 10th house, this aspect from benefics creates a Chandra Adi Yoga influencing emotional fulfillment through career and domestic stability, despite the moon's debility. Jupiter in the 1st house, Leo, even though not in its own sign, aspects the 5th, Sagittarius, 7th, Aquarius, and 9th, Aries houses. This bestows dharmic intelligence, benevolence in relationships, and a charismatic leadership quality. If Mercury conjoins Jupiter in the ascendant, a highly ethical and articulate person is formed, suited to roles in teaching, law, or counseling. Jupiter's presence in the Lagna also acts as a blessing on overall life direction and health. Venus in the 9th house, Aries, when aspected by Jupiter from the 1st or 5th house, creates a refined fortune and values system. Although Venus is debilitated in Aries, Jupiter's benefic aspect or conjunction transforms it, especially if Mercury is involved to form Saraswati Yoga. The native may find luck through artistic or value-driven international work, spiritual travels, or higher education linked to beauty or finances. Sun and Mercury conjoined in the 11th house, Gemini, form Buddha Aditya Yoga for Leo rising in the house of gains, social recognition, and aspirations. The 11th Lord Mercury conjoined with Lagna Lord Sun strengthens network building and financial fulfillment. If aspected by Jupiter from the 3rd house, Libra, this forms a triangle between effort, gain, and personal power, ideal for speakers, educators, or strategists working in large organizations or public roles. Jupiter in the 9th house, Aries, aspecting the 1st, Leo, 3rd, Libra, and 5th, Sagittarius, forms a divine trinal yoga for Leo ascendant. These aspects enhance self-confidence, effort-driven success, and creative expression. If Sun is in the 1st house and receives Jupiter's aspect, the person becomes spiritually oriented yet action-driven, ideal for political, academic, or public service roles. This is a classic Raja Yoga of nobility and righteous leadership. Good yogas for Sagittarius rising. Jupiter in the 1st house, Sagittarius, its own Mulatrikona sign, forms a powerful Hamsa Yoga and blesses the native with wisdom, protection, and spiritual radiance. It aspects the 5th, Aries, 7th, Gemini, and 9th, Leo houses, forming a trinal alignment of intelligence, dharma, and relationships. This configuration supports ethical leadership, teaching, and divine partnership karma. If the moon is placed in the 9th and Venus in the 7th, this trio activates a graceful and karmic destiny connected to global knowledge, loving alliances, and creative guidance. Venus in the 10th house, Virgo, although debilitated, forms a karma yoga when supported by a Mercury conjunction, Mercury being the 7th and 10th lord. The native becomes refined and service-oriented in profession, often involved in beauty, diplomacy, health, or education. If Jupiter aspects this Venus from the 2nd or 6th, it can lift the debilitation through Jiva Drishti, life-giving vision, making the individual successful in professions that balance aesthetic judgment with service ethics. Mercury in the 10th house, Virgo, exalted and conjoined with Sun, 9th Lord, forms a powerful Buddha Aditya Yoga in the house of karma. For Sagittarius rising, this combination links Dharma and action, making the native an influential thinker and leader. If Jupiter from the second house, Capricorn, aspects this conjunction, it brings ethical ambition and the ability to lead through structured systems, ideal for high roles in education, governance, or strategy. Moon in the eighth house, Cancer, its own sign, while generally sensitive, becomes powerful if aspected by Jupiter from the 12th house, Scorpio. This combination brings intuitive depth and access to hidden knowledge. The moon in the eighth, supported by Jupiter, forms a moksha yoga tied to healing, esoteric sciences, and psychological insight. If Venus is placed in the 10th or 11th house, the person gains public recognition for emotionally intelligent or metaphysical contributions. Jupiter in the second house, Capricorn, though debilitated, can form a Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga if Saturn is in a Kendra from Lagna or Moon. Its aspect to the 6th, Taurus, 8th, Cancer, and 10th, Virgo, supports wealth recovery, healing, and career resilience. If Mercury is exalted in the 10th and Moon is in Cancer, this trio transforms Jupiter's debility into an energy of long-term gain through service, emotional intelligence, and financial wisdom. Venus in the 11th house, Libra, its own sign, creates a strong Dana Yoga for Sagittarius rising. It brings gains through artistic pursuits, relationships, and diplomacy. If Jupiter from the 3rd, Aquarius, or 7th, Gemini aspects Venus, it forms a Kama Artha Yoga that empowers fulfillment through strategic alliances, aesthetic intelligence, and humanitarian ventures. The native may excel in the arts, event management, or international trade. Sun and Mercury in the 9th house, Leo, the Sun's own sign, form a powerful Buddha Aditya Yoga of Dharma. The Sun as 9th Lord in its own house with Mercury enhances higher learning, fame, and ethical leadership. If Jupiter in the first house aspects this duo, it creates a Dharma Karma Raja Yoga with high potential for spiritual or academic influence. This is ideal for roles in publishing, theology, or visionary leadership. Jupiter in the 5th house, Aries, aspecting the 9th, Leo, 11th, Libra, and 1st, Sagittarius, creates a grand Dharma Artha Kama trine of yogic support. The 5th house governs mantra, creativity, and children. Jupiter's placement here enhances learning, teaching, and karmic blessings. If Venus is placed in the 11th and Mercury in the 9th, this planetary triad brings fortune through education, media, romance, and sacred leadership. The native thrives as a spiritual guide, content creator, or visionary entrepreneur.